And we are live. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Ekasi Esports YouTube channel. I am your host today, Perfect. And today we are in store for some epic chess action as we head on down to week 7 of the Ekasi Esports chess series powered by Vodacom. And for you guys who are new to the channel, or for you guys who are new to the chess series, don't worry, let me break it down for you guys. So we have the Ekasi Esports chess series. It is a chess tournament which is broken down into 2 parts. The first part being the weekly leagues, which we're already which we're going to get into later on, and we also have the playoffs of the Ekasi Esports chess series. So right now we're in week 7 of the Ekasi Esports weekly leagues, and what happens, just to break it down for you guys, each week for 8 weeks we had 32 participants battling it out for a spot in the playoffs of the Ekasi Esports chess series, and only 8 players from the weekly leagues, from each weekly league, will move on to the playoffs. So in total, out of after the whole 8 weeks, we will have 32 players advancing into the playoffs. But just to make it a bit more enticing, to make it a bit more exciting for those guys who want to participate, the first place each week, right? The first place in each week will win 400 rands in cash. So you don't just qualify for the playoffs, but you also get to win some cash. You also get to walk away with some cash, which you could use for whatever. It's real cash. And second place also walks away with 200 rands in cash, and third place also walks away with 150 rands in cash. And I was going through the rules recently, and I was like checking, like, okay, cool. If I could, because there's new participants every week, so there's no rule saying that you can't play again if you already won. So basically, if you feel like you got what it takes, and you feel like you could use a boost financially, you could participate for the chess series. If you feel like you're good in chess and you need some ka-ching in the pocket, then register and participate in the Ekasi Esports chess series powered by Vodacom. And you can do that by registering for the chess series, which is completely free, right? And this is open to all residents within South Africa. So in order to register, you need to head on down to the Ekasi Esports chess series tournament page, which is hosted on the Ekasi Esports website, and the link is www.ekasiesports.africa/chess-series. If you didn't get that link, don't worry, it's going to be posted up in the description. And tomorrow at 2 p.m. registrations for the Ekasi Esports chess series will go live. So this is currently week 7 that we're in, so we only have one more week of the weekly leagues, excluding this one. So we have week 8 next week, and then after week 8 we're going to go into the playoffs, where the 32 players who have proven themselves worthy will battle it out for a bigger prize. So the person who comes out first after in the playoffs, after the playoffs have happened and we have gone into the grand finals, that player will walk away with 5,000 rands in cash, which is more than 10 times the amount that you won during the weekly leagues. Hey, you win 400 rands during the weekly leagues, and then you go again and win another 5,000 rands after the grand final. Man, you'll be set you'll be set for a minute. You'll be like, and this is like some extra money that you have on the side. So why wouldn't you want to participate? So make sure to register tomorrow for week 8 of the Ekasi Esports chess series. And oh yeah, I forgot to mention, second place will also walk away with something after the grand finals. They'll walk away with 2,500 rands, and third place will walk away with 1,500 rands in cash. So the chances of you winning, of going away with something, it's there. You just have to be good at your game. So you have this week to train, to practice, to do everything to make sure that you can at least qualify for the playoffs. And if, like I said, if you're good enough, you could also go on and also come out first in next week's weekly league, and we'll go away with that 400 rands in cash. Have a little something. But anyways, let's get on down to this week, which is week 7. Right, week 7 of the Ekasi Esports chess series. So we are just waiting for the players to get loaded up into the server. I'm looking at the clock right now. We have about just like 3 minutes 55 seconds till we're live, and let's just look at the player list to see who is in today. Who is the returning players. Because like I said, you can play as many times as you want. You can participate as many times as you want. No one says you can't. So if you can, why not? So okay, so we have 801 Strider. He's rated 2200. I think that's a new player. Like we haven't seen him before. We got Taps Jr., who's a returning player. He is quite already qualified for the playoffs, so I guess he's just trying to get himself a piece of that 400 rand. He's trying to get himself maybe some of that cash, by placing the top 3 this week. We also have Senzo MC, who came out third last week. He was one of the guys who came out third, because last week we had a tie. We had a tie for first place, and we also had a tie for third place as well. Was crazy intense. If you guys missed out on week 6, be sure to check it out, because there was some epic action, because we had some national champions coming into the server and participating. So yeah, be sure to check out week 6 if you want to witness some of that action. And he just joined. He just joined. Speaking of the devil, we have the chess boy. Who's also known as Vanele. Is one of the one of our initial players in chess, so he means business, and you can see that rating. He's 2100, so he's the second highest rated player in the server at the moment. But does that mean that he does that mean that 801 Strider could take him down? We'll never know. Looking at the chess boy, he's a fight master, so he has an official rating, and like I said, he has a huge ass reputation. And another person we have here, we have Kithonski, who is another powerful player. Like most of these guys, I used to play with them back in high school, and they just used to whoop my ass all the time when I used to go up against them, like national champions. But yeah, they're pretty cool guys, and the guys to be be respected. So if you meet them in the on the chessboard, be sure to have your A game on, because you don't want to take it easy. You don't want to slip against them, because if you make a mistake, they'll capitalize on it. So anyways, let's go on down the list. We also have another candidate master here, a women's candidate master with Bekra Joy, who's a returning champion too. She's a returning champion. She came out first, she came out second, and she came out third. So she has she has tasted the some of that money, and I guess she's back again in week 7 to have more of that money. So I don't know how she's gonna fare up against the chessboard, if she has to meet the chessboard or Kithonski, but there'll be a great match to keep a lookout on. And so yeah, we also have Volatile, who's also a returning player. We got Coronations, who's a returning player, and also the week 5 winner. Yeah, he won week 5 of the chess series. He was on top of the leaderboard. We got Lazy Cash. Lazy Cash has been here since day 1. He's been here since week 1 of this chess series. Shout out to Lazy Cash. Unfortunately, his highest placement has been second place, so he's like trying to get to that top spot of the chess series. Will he do it this week? We shall see. I still got hope for my man, but like the thing is, we got people like the chess boy, and we got people like Kithonski and Bekra Joy, who are the Goliaths of this. Tournament of this week specifically. So yeah, he'll have to take them down before we can be in top spot. And then we got Problem X, who's also a returning player. He's still yet to also be in the top spot. We got Jaden Smith, who also is a returning player. He's been in the second place spot. We got Luquisens, who is also a returning player. Most of these guys have been in the top 3, but most of them haven't tasted that glorious first place position. So we shall see if they have a chance this week. So we also have Kwatsi Winborn. I'm not sure if I'm butchering your name, but yeah, we'll go with Kwatsi. We got Mercy, we got David Returns, we got Ario, OG, he's one of the biggest Fortnite people in the Fortnite scene. We got Emilio, and we got Jean. We got Jean. Who's also one of the most he's a CS:GO streamer, so it's nice to see a diverse like people from other games coming into chess, because you need to exercise some of those brain muscles, after like playing those hard shooting games. You sometimes have to like take it easy on a Sunday afternoon, play some chess, flex the brain a bit, what I'm saying. So let's just jump into the matches. I've been told that are already underway, so we're just gonna jump into the matches real quick. If I can just get this live. And who are we gonna check out first? So I guess we can start off with Bekra and Ario. So Bekra, like as I mentioned, she's a returning champion. A returning champion. She is going up against Ariel, who is, I said, a prominent figure in the Fortnite scene in South Africa. And we have Bekra on the black pieces, and we have Ariel on the white pieces. And just off rip, we can see that Bekra is already coming with that aggression. She has already advanced that D pawn onto D4, applying pressure onto the knight. We can see that the queen is also placed on H4, which it seemed like it had the king in check, and now the king has moved, which is I feel like is already a bad start for Ariel, because that's something that you don't want to do. Move your king too early in the game, because if that happens, then your king is just going to keep on getting kicked around the board, and that's not a really good start that you want to be in. And plus, you still want to have the option to castle and better protect your king later on. And we see that Ariel is going for the queen exchange so early in the game. I guess he's just trying to ease up that pressure, but I don't think Bekro is going to react too much to it. But she has the advantage, so I guess she will go for that. And plus, she also wins herself that night on top of that. And yeah, this is really looking sour for Ariel early on in the game. He has two doubled up pawns on his side. He has the two doubled up pawns on the F file, and he also has the two doubled up pawns on the C file, which will come as a big disadvantage for him later on as we go into the mid game. I'm sure Bekra is now just going to take it easy. She's a very aggressive player. Like I've checked out some of her matches in the previous weeks, and she's very aggressive. So she doesn't take it easy on anybody. So don't underestimate her if you go up against her. If you do get the chance to go up against her. So make sure, like I said, have your A game on, especially with these masters, especially with these officially rated guys, because they have that rating for a reason. They're not just like playing around. And yeah, so now Bekra is just developing her pieces, just trying to get them onto the board and get them active. I'm pretty sure her next move is probably going to castle, just to provide some safety for a king before she starts being a bit more aggressive on the board. But yeah, as I mentioned, this is not really looking good for Ariel. She puts pressure onto that F5 pawn, which really has nowhere to go. But Ariel decides to go for the exchange. I'm not sure if I would have done that if I was Bekra. I would have probably just like castled, because now she has destroyed a bit of her king side, even though she does have majority of the advantage. But you in chess, you just want to be safe most of the time. You don't want to underestimate your opponent, because sometimes you could blunder and that could like cost you the game, even if that game was an obvious win for you, because like if you look at the rating, Ariel is rated 848 and Bekra is rated 1784, and which is a big difference in terms of rating. And so Ariel does have the disadvantage, but at the same time, don't let those ratings get into your head. Who knows, maybe Ariel just opened an account just recently. Maybe he heard about the chess series and was like, oh, hey, let me open an account. And then he hasn't really had a chance to really grind out on the chess.com app or websites. So these ratings could be misleading sometimes. We have seen that in the previous weeks, where we have seen someone who's rated like a 1500 plus being taken down by someone who's rated like 800 or something. So you just want to make sure that you don't underestimate any of your opponents. Not saying that she is, but like I'm just saying, you want to make sure that you destroy them. You want to destroy them. Like for me, every time I go into a chess game, I have one intention: to destroy you. To destroy you, which is a bit like, I guess it's a bit too much, but like you just want to make sure that that person has no chance. They have no chance, and you have no room for mistakes, because chess, like I said, is a very, very tense game. All right, so you don't want to make any mistakes, because any mistakes could cost you the game. And yeah, so just going back to the match, as we can see, Bekra still applying, she has a knight on g3, which is, applying pressure onto that bishop. But then we see Ariel supporting it by moving the rook into d2. Ariel trying to kick the knight by, bringing the king closer, threatening to take, I don't know, maybe training for an exchange or something. I don't know. But, Bekra is not worried. She goes for the bishop. And will she go for the rook exchange, as they're both challenging? Oh, but she checks. Oh, this is not looking too good for Ariel. So he stands to lose a lot from this one here. And they go for the exchange. And yeah, I'll say Becker wins that exchange. She's still up a knight. She still got a knight on the board and a rook. So this is going to the end game. Okay, well, I think we're already in the end game. So yeah, this is looking very very sour for Aerial. He still has those double up pawns on the C file. I don't know if he's gonna try and break that. Also, Becker has double up pawns on the B file as well. But like I guess we'll see who will play that queen side a bit more effectively, and whoever does, I guess, will see themselves possibly crowning a queen. I don't know if the game will go that far. My prediction is, Bekra my queen, my promote and get a queen, and then that, she might call it a day like that. But yeah, this is pretty sour for Aerial. He really needs to come up with a plan, and as you can see, he's pushing his pawns. Trying to apply, that pressure onto the king side. But I guess Bekra won't pay any mind to it. If I was Bekra, I was just gonna push that pawn on the a3 on the a file as she's doing right now, and just like focus on getting her queen. Or we see Ari also going for the alternative attack where he's applying pressure on the king side. So yeah, this is gonna be a race. But the pawn is just like one step away from promotion. So yeah, it's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be interesting because the thing is, if the rook moves away to a1, which was not the best move, I feel like, for Aerial, but there was not really much he could do in that position. He now stands to lose those pawns on the king side, which he worked hard to get a bit forward. And right now, Aerial only has that pawn on c3, which is almost hanging because there's no piece supporting it, there's no piece protecting it. And the pawn on a2 is also protected by the rook. The rook is sitting on the second rank. The king is pretty much like trapped onto that first rank, which is rough. And now she just traps him onto the first rank, and Aerial resigns. Because I guess he saw that he had no chance here. He had no chance, so he resigns. And that's something I always say, that like, if you have no chance and you see that this game is pretty much done, just call it a day, man. Just call it a day. It's fine. But let's jump into another match, because the first round of this week is still underway. So we have Lazy Cash against Jean. And as I mentioned, Jean being another, he's one of the CS:GO streamers we have in the country. So like I said, it's great to see some other guys from different games coming into the chess community, and also like showing their skills. But he's going up against Lazy Cash, another powerful opponent who has been here since day one, who's still hungry for that first place position. He's with the black pieces, and we got Jean with the white pieces. As you can see, Jean is getting destroyed. Oh my, Jean is really getting destroyed. This is not looking good for Jean at all. He only has the okay, so I guess he only has the knight and the white square bishop, while Lazy Cash still has his queen and rook. And I guess it doesn't take it, if you know your basics in chess, that both of those pieces are pretty much the most powerful pieces on the board. And yeah, we see Jean also giving up a knight there on e7, which I don't think he noticed that was a bad move. But yeah, I think this is pretty much done for Jean. I feel like what he could do right now, he could resign. Like I said, man, if you see the match is over, just resign. If there's no chance for you, it's fine. Just resign. It's a sign of respect to your opponent, a sign of respect to your opponent to resign. And you don't wanna come off disrespectful. So you could just put down the pieces and just call it a day. We see Lazy Cash sacrificing his rook, I guess, trying to box in the king a bit more. And now I guess he's just one move from checkmate. This is pretty much done. It's pretty much done for Jean. He has no other option but to just resign at this point. So I think that will happen any minute now. I guess he's still trying to look for a way, but there is no way. So yes, this is rough. I think this is Jean's first time here in the chess series, and I guess yeah, this is a sad way to be introduced into a chess series, as he is. Oh, okay. So, okay, I guess he doesn't get mated yet. So, Jean still lives to see another day or another move. Um, but I guess Lazy Cash will just take his time with his food. He'll just like take it easy and maybe probably try to catch Jean off guard and then going for the mate. But I'm not liking this from Jean by boxing himself into that corner, because that's pretty much GG's. Is it GG's? Well, yeah, pretty much GG's in a couple of moves. And yeah, that's forced. That's a forced mate right now. And yeah. Oh, and Jean doesn't do anything about it. And there we go, checkmate. So unlucky Jean. Hopefully he'll come back in the second round and we shall maybe see him again. But right now, we only have one more match left in the first round. Most of the matches are done. There's the only match left, which is Taps Jr. against Mercy. We got Taps Jr., like I said, a returning player who has who has been in the top three, who has already qualified for the playoffs, but is still looking for that first place spot in the weekly leagues. So he's out for blood. He's out for blood. And as you can see, he's on the black pieces. As you can see, he has pretty much destroyed Mercy at this point. As you can see, he has a pawn on the A file, which is on its way to be to be promoted into a queen. And after that happens, that's pretty much GG's. He still has a rook, so he doesn't even really need to promote, but I'm pretty sure he'll just do that just to make the job a bit easier and quicker. And looking also the time difference, Mercy just has under 2 minutes left on his clock, while Taps Jr. still has a whole 5 minutes. Hasn't even used half of his time as yet. But yeah, this is pretty much GG's. If I was Mercy, I'd also hit that resign button and just call it a day. And yeah, he did. It's like these guys are listening to me. I'm not saying just hit resign every time things don't go your way, but I'm just saying sometimes you see that that it's chai, it's chai. So I just put on the pieces, and I just want to check out another match. So we're now underway into the second round of week 7 of the Ekasi Esports Chess Series, powered by Vodacom. And I think the first match we should check out right now, because this is one of the matches I was hoping to watch, and since I'm getting my teaser early today, so we got Bekra against the Chess Boy. Who is gonna come out on top? And both of them already mirroring their first move. The chess boy starting off with his knight on to f3, while Baker does the same thing on his side by putting a knight on f6. This is tense. Last week, as I mentioned, it was like action packed. We saw the chess boy and Kithonsky both tied for the first place spot. And they had to play a tiebreaker because we wanted to check if we wanted to see if they would we want to see who would be the undisputed winner of week 6 of the chess series. They played their tiebreaker, and I'm not lying to you. They played the exact same moves. Their moves mirrored each other. It was like, and they played them so fast. It was like watching an episode of Dragon Ball, of watching an episode of Dragon Ball Z, where Goku is fighting against some new opponent who's like super, like who's insane, and then like both of them are just going at it, and then the punches meet up. Crazy. As you can see, they're both stalling right now. The chess boy, I don't know what's happening. Is he trying to? I think he knows. He's not underestimating her at any bit, and he's taking his time, I guess, to think through this match, which is going to be intense. Like, I can feel the tension. This is not even a LAN or a physical tournament, but like I'm already feeling the tension just like watching this. It's only been one move, but ladies and gentlemen, it's only been one move on both sides, and already we can feel the tension. So I don't know what's gonna happen. Who's gonna win? And I guess he moves up to g3. Bankrupt mirrors the move again. This is insane, man. I'm enjoying this. And for those guys who are new to chess, welcome. This is where you get a lot of action. Yeah. This is absolutely insane. And she mirrors they both castle. Come on, people. Come on. Okay, and then she breaks it. Now she breaks it, and by playing that move onto so I don't know. So now and things are back again, mirrored. I thought we were changing things up, but we're back again. Both sides are mirroring each other. Man, man, if you can't feel the tension at home, if you like, but you can hear my excitement. You can hear how excited I am. But yeah, but I guess they break the cycle now. You know, the chess boy moves his knight up to e5. You know, I guess also applying pressure, just trying to move into black's territory a bit more. And then Becker responds by also applying pressure on the knights, you know, trying to kick it off the board. But then I guess both sides are just trying to develop their pieces right now, just to get them active. And I guess may the best master win, because both of them are chess masters, right? Both of the well, one is a fight master and the other one is a women's cancer master, but they're both chess masters, right? And that's why they have that red tag next to their names. So may the best master win. And this is a very slow game. This is a very slow game. So I guess just looking at this, both players are playing carefully. Becker takes out a queen, places onto b2, you know, possibly looking, you know, to capture that pawn onto b2. But the chess boy moves his knight onto a4, you know, just supporting it a bit more. And also applying pressure onto the queen, probably trying to kick the queen off that position. And you know, Becker Joy retaliates by moving the queen back into original position, which is a wasted move. You know, because one thing you don't want to do in a game of chess is, you know, waste your moves, because like moving your piece back and forth and, you know, moving them back and forth in the same positions is not the best thing, because now you give your other opponent momentum. You know, you're helping them develop their game a bit more, and you're helping them get an extra move, you know, ahead of you to, you know, put their pieces on the board in a great position, you know, to start building a good attack against you. So you just want to make sure that whatever move you play is not a move where you're going to be going back and forth the whole time. And as we can see, the exchanges are coming in. Will we see an exchange here? You know, yes, I guess they exchange knights, and now will they exchange bishops as well? Are we going to see? Are we going to see? Yeah, this is pretty much... And we go in with the exchange some more. So I guess now Becker is just deciding what to take the knight with. It's either with the rook or with the bishop. You know, choose a my ketel. You know, and she takes the bishop, and then the pawn falls down, and the chess boy is asking for a queen exchange. Which is interesting. I guess he's just trying to make sure this, you know, the queens don't interfere in the game, because the queens are, you know, an essential piece on the board. You know, they can switch up the game, you know, just like that. But Becker just denies the exchange. She still wants a queen on the board. She doesn't want to give up a queen, but by doing that, she loses a pawn. She leaves a pawn hanging onto b7. But then the chess boy is adamant on getting that exchange. And yeah, he gets that queen exchange as he wanted. So he retaliates back with his knights onto d3, applying pressure onto the bishop on onto e5. And yeah, I guess this game is getting a bit more interesting as it goes. No one really has the clear advantage at the moment. Both of them are pretty much evenly matched. The main difference here is that, you know, Becker has that black square bishop, while the chess boy still has his knight. So now it's going to be a knight versus bishop fight, because pretty much the number of and then the chess boy still has that pawn advantage, which he won earlier. And both of them are attacking the same pawn. But I feel like, you know, the chess boy can easily, you know, win this pawn game, because, you know, can just easily move his king onto f1, just providing support to that pawn. Oh yeah, moves it to f1, or he could have pushed it into e3, but which I would recommend that, because now you leave your knight hanging, and, you know, it opens opens up options for black, you know, to attack the knight a bit more, and now you sort of have to protect your knight. But now it looks like the chess boy is he's just gonna keep on kicking that that rook, just applying pressure onto it. I guess just to prevent, to disconnect the rooks there onto the e file, just to prevent that threat. But Bekra just responds by just moving her rook up to, but then now she gives up the pawn. Pretty much free, because they could have, they could have went for a rook exchange there earlier on, but I guess she was like, nah, it's fine. She probably doesn't want the exchange. And now, I feel like, the chessboard may have taken a bit of his time there. Oh, but now this is interesting. This is interesting because now the pawn on c5 is being supported by the bishop on f8. And the chessboard, by moving his knight onto d5, he's threatening to fork the king, or the king and the rook there. By moving, he's threatening f6, which will fork the king and the rook. So, and one of the moves to protect that is to move the bishop and and just protect that f6 block. But like I said, black could easily just move away his rook or king into a different position just to prevent the fork. And I guess this opens up another tactic. So white is still looking onto moving into f6, but then is denied by Bekra moving her king into g7. Both parties here are really playing it carefully. No one wants to blunder. No one wants to give up the position. The chessboard has a slight advantage, by still having that, that pawn advantage, which will come crucial as we go on late into the game. He offers up the exchange of the rooks, I guess, just removing more pieces on the board and just, because I guess, if you're in a tense situation, you're in a tense match, you just want to make sure that you get rid of a lot of the clutter on the board. Even if things stay even, you just want to remove all the clutter just to make sure that you got some time to build up your game without having to worry about the other pieces. And that looks like that's the chessboard's plan, as you saw that he's been offering up exchanges with to Bekra, but Bekra has been denying almost all of them. And now things are getting a bit more intense after checking the king, also trying to fork the king and the pawn there on c5, but then the chessboard doesn't take that. So what's gonna happen here? This I'm not really liking that move by the chessboard, but what are we gonna see happening here? Is Bekra gonna take it? Because if she takes it, then she loses the rook there on c8, so that's not an option. And now the bishop is still or the bishop is still there protecting the pawn. So I guess we shall see what happens here. Both players taking their time, not rushing into anything. But I guess while we wait and to see what Bekra's okay. Well, I was gonna say while we wait to see Bekra's response, we could just go into another chess game to see what's happening on the flip side. She responds, but I guess we could just do that in the meantime and just check out. We could check out who's this. Mercy against who's this? Mercy against Carlos. Carlos being another returning player who's I'm not sure if he is qualified for the playoffs, but I think he has. But he's also probably fighting for that top 3 position. Both players have lost their first round matches, and looking at this is pretty much over for Carlos. Mercy 08, going for that force mate. There's nothing much that White could do in this position. It's pretty much GG's. Mercy should just hit that resign button, and I feel like right now, I guess they'll transition us back into the chessboard and Bekra Joy's match to see how things are going. Because it's pretty much over. It's just like, yeah, how long are we gonna wait? Oh well, Mercy 08 blunder and then we lose the advantage. We shall see. But yeah, this is pretty much GG's right now. Because the only move that White could play here is moving the knight into f2, and then after that, queen takes f2, and then that is pretty much, GG's. because that's a check, and then the king moves down to h3, and you just move the rook up onto a3, and that is checkmate. And that is it, ladies and gents. I guess we can just go back into Becker's match against Ario. And looking at this, it looks like someone must have blundered here, and that looks like it might have been Becker, because we can look at the advantage bar all the way on the left. It is going haywire, giving white the full advantage, and it looks like they both exchanged. Oh yeah, they did already exchange queens earlier. So yeah, this is rough for Becker. The king is now stuck in that corner. Both rooks are exchanged now. And who's this? The chess boy still has that pawn advantage. Yeah, I feel like this match will go into the chess boy's way. Yeah, this is pretty much GG's for Bekra. It's pretty much GG's for Bekra, unless if the chess boy, makes a big blunder which costs him the whole game, which is very unlikely, and I guess uncharacteristic for a player who's at his level. So I guess we shall see what happens. But anything is possible, anything is possible. Things happen. This is just things happen. So yeah, I pretty much feel like this is pretty much GG's. We still have about 4 matches left in the second round. Seems like everybody is evenly matched in this round because everyone is taking their time. I guess we could just switch into another match right now, which is Senzo against Strider, 801 Strider, who both won their first round. Things seem to be pretty almost evenly matched, but if I just glance at the board, we can see that black, which is 801 Strider, has a pawn advantage here, which might work into his favor. But let me just look at the board real quick. I'm not a fan of that move onto b2, because then that possibly leads to white moving the rook to to b1, which then pins the bishop onto b1, because now obviously if the bishop gets greedy and takes that pawn on c3, then you lose the bishop, and you also like to lose the queen. Oh, well, you lose the queen first, and then you could possibly lose the bishop later on. And now Strider just gave away a free bishop, which is pretty rough. So yeah, Senzo decides to take that free bishop. But let's just look at the leaderboard at the moment, just to have perspective on who's sitting away exactly. And apparently, we had Volatile against Kithonsky earlier, and Kithonsky looks like he drew against Volatile, which could make things a bit more interesting. And if we look at this, the chess boy against Baker, the match has just ended. I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen, for missing that, but it looks like the chess boy takes the win and takes down Baker Joy. So the chess boy is currently sitting in first, along with Tabs Jr. Both of them have 2 out of 2 wins, and we got Kithonsky and Volatile in second, both in third place, who both have 1.5 points each, because they drew their second round match. And then here we have Strider against Senzo. The winner here will join the chess boy and Tabs Jr. there in the first place position, and also could face off against the chess boy and Tabs Jr., which are both very powerful opponents. So whoever is gonna win here has to make sure that they got their A game on going into the third and final round of this week's Chess Series Weekly League. And I guess looking at this, it might go into Senzo's way. Because just looking at this, he does have the advantage. And Strider offers up the rook exchange. So now we're going to a pawn endgame, which is now bishop versus knight. But looking at this, Senzo has his bishop, but then the bishop is pretty much immobile, stuck onto that on that h3 block, which is pretty rough. Because you do have a minor piece on the board, but it can't do anything, which is very rough for Senzo. And there's nothing, and there's basically nothing he could do right now. This is the last match, by the way, of the second round. And oh, time out. We didn't even pay attention to the time. And I guess since I didn't also pay attention to the time, he runs out of time, and that gives Strider the win. Rough. This is one of the worst ways to lose a match by by virtue of time. Yeah, and that sucks. But now I guess we going on to the third and final round of week 7 of the Ekasi Esports Chess Series powered by Vodacom. And I guess one of the matches we could check out, which I would love to check out, is Kitonski against the Chess Boy, which is a rematch from last week. So we got Kitonski on the white pieces, and we got the Chess Boy on the black side. Kitonski going in for what looks like the Queen's Gambit earlier on, and how will the Chess Boy retaliate? He just keeps on playing his game. And I guess we shall see how this heads down. So I don't think this is a repeat of last week, where both parties were mirroring both of their positions, and ended up being a draw, which ended up having both of them to split that first place prize. But yeah, looking at this, looks like both of them will be going for the win. None of them is going for the draw. Both of them are going for that win. And earlier on, they go for that queen exchange, just to remove the queens off of the board, and just to make sure that they got some breathing space to develop their both sides. And we already see that open file coming in on the D file, and Kitonski already taking ownership of the D file by placing his rook onto the D file, and also now doubling them up there to provide more support and provide more pressure onto that D file. And they go for the exchange, and both of them get rid of their rooks. So this might already go into an early end game where both sides will fight. I guess it's going to be a pawn battle, which I'd love to see. I would love to see them both exchanging their minor pieces and just having a straight up pawn game to see who will come out on top, who has the better end game between the two. And both of them, obviously, they're both masters, and they all know the principles and what one has to do in order to win their opponent games. And as you can see, both of them have exchanged their knights. But now, what makes it interesting, I guess, it's going to go into another draw. I'm going to go into another draw because now both sides have, oh my, I guess this is gonna go into another draw at this point. Yeah, this is a draw, ladies and gents. So we go into another draw. This is the second time we've seen Kitonski against the Chess Boy, and both occasions it has resulted in a draw, which is, man, this is mind-boggling. But then with that puts the Chess Boy on 2.5 points and puts Kitonski on 2 points, which now makes it a bit more, which makes it rough, because that leaves the first place spot open for the taking for either Taps Jr. or 801 Strider. My prediction initially was the Chess Boy, Kitonski, or Bekro will take it, because I guess they're the masters of this week. But then looking at the result at the moment, Bekro lost her previous round match against the Chess Boy, which then could have a fighting for a second place or third place position. But and we got Kitonski, who drew his last match, which now puts him in a position, gives him 2 draws at this point, and puts him on 2 points. And we got the Chess Boy, who's on 2.5 points. But then we still got Taps Jr. and 801 Strider. So this is their chance. This is their chance to claim first place. Will Taps Jr. claim that first place, which he's been longing for throughout these 8 weeks of the tournament? We shall see. So let's just tune into this match. The winner here will claim the first spot of week 7 of the chess series, and will walk away with 400 rands in cash. Unless if they draw, then that makes things a bit more interesting, because now they would have been tied in a tie position with the Chess Boy. And this is going to be an interesting match to check out. My prediction, okay, I'm going to be rooting for Taps Jr. as he has been here for a minute now. So I would love to see him finally claim that first place spot. As I've mentioned, he has been trying to be on top since day one. So I'm rooting for you, Taps. I'm rooting for you. Nothing against Stride or anything. This is just like it's just like a prediction game to see who's gonna win and who's gonna lose. And just like off rip, we can see both sides of Castle King side. We got Taps on the black pieces, and we got 801 Strider on the white pieces. And both sides have like fairly developed their positions. And I guess we shall see what happens. But then we see that there's more pressure and there's more control of the center onto white side. So white it does have that side advantage of having more pressure onto the center, while the most pressure that the pieces which are like currently attacking that center from Taps Junior's point is the pawn on f5 and also the knight on e6, which is going to make it a bit tougher for Taps Junior to infiltrate white's position a bit more. But yeah, looks like both of them are staring down each other, and both of them are taking their time because I guess they both understand the stakes here. They both understand that the winner here is gonna go walk away with that first place position, and both of them, I guess, they're lucky that Kitonsky and the chess boy got paired up against each other again. Because if one of them had to go up against either of them, yeah, they're going to be pretty much in trouble. They're going to be pretty much in trouble. So they're both lucky that they have had a chance to not face them yet, which allows them to claim their first place spot. But just like let's look at the leaderboard. So at the moment, since Taps Junior and Edouard Stride are still playing, we have the chess boy in first place with 2.5 points. Then we have Taps Junior and A1 Strider both tied in second place. Both on second place. Fighting for their first place position, both on second place. Then we got Lazy Cash in third place. He got two out of 3 wins. We also got Kithonski who has two out of 3 wins. So here we might see about, let's see, we might have 3 players who have 2 out of 3 wins. But the main thing that's going to separate these 3 players are the tiebreaker points, and these tiebreaker points are not fully controlled by them, but it's controlled by the opponents, because that's just the sum of the points the opponents have. And if one of the opponents drew, then instead of them getting 0.5 points as a tiebreaker point, they'll get 0.25 points. It's not as complicated as it sounds if you just like read on it, but the tiebreaker points just help us make sure that things just help us deal with these tiebreakers instead of us having to run tiebreakers, because the chances of having ties in a 32-man 3 rounds this tournament is pretty high. So at least the tiebreaker points just at least relieve that tension and that pressure for us to have tiebreakers almost each and every time people are tied up in first place or second place or third place. So as we are looking into this match, both parties are not relenting. Both parties are applying that pressure. And we can see Strider decides to fork the queen and the bishop. Obviously, Strider, Taps is not going to give up the queen. But they go for the exchange. They both exchange the mine pieces. A bishop for a knight exchange, and Taps Junior takes eases up the pressure there on the center by taking d4 on white side. But now we see the queen heavily into black's territory. I guess what we might see here is maybe Taps Junior might look into advancing his pawn on a7, maybe a bit higher, because maybe he might look to move his rook onto d8, skewering the queen, so that black could get that free pawn. But I guess he does it early, and that leads him to take that. That leads him to take that pawn on a7 pretty much for free. Well, both parts were exchanging. And now what do we see here? We moves up the queen onto the second rank, just applying a bit more pressure there. How will black retaliate? Well, it could retaliate by just like moving the queen away and just also providing support onto that b6 pawn, which is still hanging because the black, that queen is still eyeing it down, and obviously hasn't had the chance as black was mostly in command of the previous couple of moves. But I guess we shall see who shall win. But I guess we can take a quick break and just like check um and see who's interacting with us on the chat. So we got Smug Weather who's saying, "Hey, perfect. Hey, what's up, Smug? I registered. I still can't play. Oh, unfortunately, because I guess the admins accepted everyone onto who applied to be a member. So yeah, just make sure that just check your emails and make sure that if you register, be sure to check out your emails, because we do send communications via email to give you links and instructions on how to participate today. So be sure to keep an eye out on the and to keep an eye out on how to join and participate. But you have to make sure you register early to make sure you get those emails early as well. The first games are painful to watch, said by 5D. Yes, yeah, they were pretty much intense already. Like I did say initially, they want to be in store for some epic action this week. And when then we got Ario, who's one of the participants who just he had a bit of a whooping initially. So, but not GG's to him. But yeah, back onto the action. We can see a lot has happened here, and we can see that Taps Jr. blundered, and after that blunder, I guess that's pretty much Chai. As I said, if it's Chai, just put down the king and call it a day, and he resigns, and that will put Erdogan Strider in first place. And so I guess we already have your winner. We have Erdogan Strider as our winner for this week. Which puts him in first place with 3 out of 3 wins. He's the highest rated player in the server, so I guess I would have loved to see him going up against the Chess Boy also in one of his matches, but unfortunately we didn't get to see that. But yeah, so far the standings are: we have Erdogan Strider in first place. We got the Chess Boy in second place with 2.5 points. We got Taps Jr. in third place with 2 out of 3 points. We got Lazy Cash in fourth place. But it's not over yet. It's not over yet, because we still got Baker's Joy against Volatile. Ooh, oh my god. And Volatile wins. Volatile takes the win. We just jumped into the match. I was just about to check out the match. Volatile oh no, not Volatile wins. Oh, my apologies. My bad. Wait, no, Volatile wins by resignation. Becker Joy resigns and gives Volatile the win. I guess she had blundered real bad, and that had costed her the game. And by the looks of it, it looks like she had the advantage. Ooh, and this was not the best way to lose. Oh, unlucky for Bekra. I guess she's a returning. Like I said, she returned. She was MIA last week, so I guess maybe she was a bit rusty. So maybe she's gonna get back to it and come back in week 8 and maybe hopefully redeem herself. And let's just see what happened to the standings as we speak. Let me just switch it on to you guys so you guys can have a look and see what's happening this side. So as I said, we got we got Erdogan Strider in first place. We got the Chess Boy in second place. We got Volatile also we got Volatile in third place. And what's separating the two is that the Chess Boy has 2 points as tiebreaker points, and we got Volatile with 0.75 points as tiebreaker points. So obviously the Chess Boy has more tiebreaker points compared to Volatile. The Chess Boy has more tiebreaker points than Volatile, which then puts him in a higher position. And then we got Taps Jr. in 4th place, and we got Lazy Cash in 5th place. But we still have Senzo against Mercy, which is still underway. So we shall see if that might affect the standings a bit more. I guess we shall see. I guess we can just jump back into that match and see what is happening at the moment. Yeah, it's pretty much hard for white. Yeah, it's pretty much tough for white. As you can see, that Senzo still has 2 of his black rooks on the board and has 2 of his bishops on the board. So he has doubled up rooks and doubled up bishops on the board. This is pretty much chai for white. Even though white still has his rooks on the board. Just having that, okay, I guess he just gave it up. But then, having a double up bishop advantage in the game, especially going to the end game, it's very essential. And I feel like, what Senzo should do at this point is just exchange one of the rooks just to have, one rook on both sides, just to ease up the pressure and just, clear the air a bit and not have, that pressure coming from. And why did Senzo do that? So I guess he's just, yeah. That's I don't know if he didn't notice that he was giving up his bishop by doing that, or maybe he was just like trying to, he was quick. He's just trying to get that promotion early right now, which is now rough for. This is gonna be rough. It's gonna be tense. So what will Senzo do? What will Senzo do here? Is he gonna push the pawn onto c2, applying pressure, losing up that pawn there? And will he? Because I guess next move is d1, which then pins the rook onto e1, and I guess we go in with that resignation from Mercy, which gives Senzo the win. And here are the final standings. We have Strider in first with 3 out of 3 wins. We got the Chess Boy in second with 2.5 out of 3 wins, and we got Volatile in third place with 2.5 points out of 3. And the reason why the Chess Boy is, like I said, the reason why the Chess Boy is in second place instead of them both being tied is because of the tiebreaker points. You can see that the Chess Boy has 4 tiebreaker points while Volatile only has 3, which is very unfortunate for Volatile. But anyways, GG's, and those were your games for today. And thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you guys for joining me. Thank you guys for the chats. And I see Smug Weather saying that sometimes you win and sometimes you lose. And yeah, that's what it is. What it is, man. It is what it is. It's chess. At the end of the day, it's chess. Things happen, and my prediction for this week was to have the Chess Boy winning again, showing his dominance, and claiming that first place spot. Either him, Kitolski, or Pekra, but none of the masters claimed that first place spot. None of them claimed their first place spot, and that gave way for the other guys like 801 Strider to claim their first place and also to walk away with 400 rands in cash. So 801 Strider walks away with 400 rands in cash. The Chess Boy walks away with 250 rands in 200 rands in cash, and then that gives who's this? Volatile. That gives Volatile 150 rands in cash. So I guess that's GG's, and I guess we can see also Keith Kitonsky and also the Chess Boy in the comments saying true story. And yeah, it's very unfortunate that you guys had to meet in the second in the final round, because that led you guys to battling it out and fighting for a chance at that first place spot. But then you guys ended up drawing. You guys did the same thing as last week. I think you guys are rehearsing this, honestly, because you can't tell me 3 occasions you guys have met up. You guys both ended up drawing, or both ended up both occasions ending up in a draw. But I guess that's what happens if you put 2 masters together. I guess we're still yet to see who's the best man between the two. So we see whenever Keith and Vanille are playing, I just take my pillow and get ready to sleep. Because I guess we both know what's the result now. Yeah, I guess I'll do the same thing next time. If I see them in the server again playing against each other, we will just say it's a draw. We'll just call it as a draw automatically, because none of them seem to want that win as much. But who knows, maybe in the 8th week they'll prove us wrong. And both of them are in the playoffs, so they'll also be fighting for that grand prize of 5,000 rands. So maybe that 5,000 rands will be the breaker. Maybe that'll be the tiebreaker between the two. But be sure to stay tuned and be sure to catch the playoffs after week 8, which is next week of the chess series. We're about to wrap up the weekly leagues of the chess series, and we're about to head into the playoffs, which is very, very exciting. So if you have not subscribed yet, be sure to subscribe. Hit the notification bell to be alerted when the playoffs kick off and when the playoffs are about to start. So I guess that's pretty much it for this week. I guess we'll call it a day. Whew. Some epic chess action, man. I did say initially in the beginning of the stream we're gonna have some epic chess action. and I feel like I lived up to my promise. If you feel like I didn't, leave that in the comments or something. But I think we have lived up to our promise. We're done. I think, yeah, I'm done. I'm getting too excited now. I'm just gonna go take a walk, and clear my head a bit. And yeah, so it's been nice. It's been nice. And be sure to show love and support to Ekasi Esports and Vodacom World by following Ekasi Esports on all social media platforms, which is at Ekasi Esports, on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. And if you guys would like to learn more about the tournament, be sure to visit the tournament page on the Ekasi Esports website, which is at www.ekasiesports.africa/chess-series to find more about the chess tournament. And if you'd like to register and be part of the action in week 8, which is the final week, by the way, so this is your last chance to register, be sure to register tomorrow at 2 p.m. Registrations will go live tomorrow at 2 p.m. And if you guys have been seeing the awesome deals that have been being advertised during the stream, if you guys would like to grab your hands on some of those awesome deals, be sure to head down to Vodacom World in Midrand. So if you're within Gauteng, be sure to go and check out Vodacom World, see what they have for you. And if you're one of the winners who won the 400 rands, I don't know what you can get for 400 rands that side, but it's worth a try. Go ahead and check out those awesome deals from Vodacom World. And yeah, I think that's pretty much it. It's been crazy today, and this is me signing out. Thank you for tuning in. Cheers, gents.